Tonight at 5, President Biden promising aid to Israel as the conflict continues there. We're hearing for the first time from someone on the ground.
Plus, why a panel looking into the prospect of impeaching new Wisconsin Supreme Court Justice Janet Protasiewicz says Republican leaders should not go ahead with their plan.
And Wisconsin test scores are in. We'll break down the data to see how local communities are doing. You're watching News 3 Now at 5. As the conflict between Hamas and Israel continues, we are learning at least 14 Americans are among the dead. President Biden has promised additional military aid to Israel and also some help recovering hostages.
And for the first time, we're hearing from someone on the ground in Israel. We'll have those stories coming up in just a moment. But first, more cool, rainy weather is ahead for southern Wisconsin. Meteorologist Jacob Montesano is on the
Conditions right now are pretty nice. We are seeing clear skies and temperatures for the most part, although they are still below average. It's been cool the last couple of days to the point where now we're getting used to it, and as the temperatures warm up, it feels kind of nice. 57 in Madison. We are seeing current temperatures in the lower 60s for portions of Dane County, and other parts of our area are also in the lower 60s. For the most part, it certainly is warmer than yesterday, and you can kind of feel it standing out here. Now, I want to talk about the low temperatures this morning once again. Parts of our area to the southwest of Madison did drop below freezing, and we may see more of these temperatures tonight. Looking at the visible cloud track, there is quite a bit of cloud cover to the north and east of Madison, but not so much to the south and west. Because of this, the frost advisory is not in effect for those areas to the north and west, because the cloud cover will kind of keep the heat in near the surface and not allow that frost to form. So there's a frost advisory for south central and southwestern Wisconsin from 1 a.m. until 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, and that's because we'll see those temperatures dropping into the 30s once again, with some areas possibly dropping below freezing. We do have a good chance of rain for the end of the week, and I'll talk more about that coming up a little bit later.
Jacob, thank you. At least 1,600 people have now died as the fighting between Israel and Hamas continues.
President Biden spoke with the Israeli Prime Minister today and addressed the crisis publicly from the White House. Natalie Brand has the latest.
Israel is carrying out punishing airstrikes in Gaza as its Iron Dome intercepts incoming missiles from Hamas. The Israeli military says the air assaults are designed to cause maximum destruction in areas where it says Hamas terrorists congregate. Hundreds of targets were hit in Hamas stronghold Ramal. Even Gaza's main port was struck. Security experts say for Israel, this fight is unlike previous rounds with Hamas.
Israel has to win this one conclusively, so that no one else, whether it's Hamas or Hezbollah or Iran, tries to test it in this way in the future.
We stand with Israel.
Speaking at the White House, President Biden reiterated U.S. support for Israel.
We will make sure the Jewish and democratic state of Israel can defend itself today, tomorrow, as we always have.
The U.S. is surging additional military assistance, including ammunition and missile interceptors. It's also sharing intelligence to help with hostage recovery. Americans are among the captives.
Hostages whom Hamas has now threatened to execute.
We are looking for our son. We have to find our son.
Laor Abramoff was at the music festival that came under attack. He took refuge in a bomb shelter and is missing.
We spoke with a witness that saw him taken away on a pickup truck.
As rockets light up the night sky, there has also been deadly fire with Hezbollah along Israel's border with Lebanon, fueling concerns about the conflict expanding. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Washington.
Along with the suspension of flights, cruise liners are adjusting itineraries in the area. FedEx has stopped deliveries in Israel, and many fashion retail stores are temporarily closed.
And we are hearing for the first time from people who are on the ground in Israel. Naftali Perkal is a volunteer EMT in Jerusalem. He says after a number of air raids and bombings, health officials in the city are treating a lot of shock victims. Perkal also says he is very concerned about how this conflict will impact children throughout the country.
You're with your children in the bomb shelters or in the sealed rooms. So first of all, every single time a siren goes off, I understand all the victims, because in my house alone, all the children literally go berserk. It's a terrible feeling. Even if they hear an ambulance, even if no one gets injured, it's not a question of getting injured. It's an everlasting trauma that these kids will have with them. And no child should ever have to go through that.
News 3's Arman Rahman will share more of Perkal's experiences tonight on News 3 Now at 10.
Israel's civilian population is mobilizing across the nation. Volunteers are gathering supplies for war victims and soldiers as Israel braces for a long fight. Supplies and help is coming in from overseas. Many Israeli Americans are doing what they can. One man from Miami says he's working to rejoin the Israeli military.
It's been a fight of terrorists against innocent civilians, and those civilians are arming themselves now, and we're trying to figure out what we can do.
And with the ongoing conflict in Gaza and Israel, coverage of the topic will be in the headlines for the foreseeable future.
Where you get your information during this time period is important. Our Jalen Banks joins us now with tips on how and where you can make sure you're looking at trustworthy news sources. Jalen?
I had the opportunity this afternoon to catch up with Alex Mahadavan of Poynter Institute, the organization that guides many of the ethics we as journalists follow. He shared with me ways to sift through mis and disinformation you might see online right now. 3 key points he made to be mindful of: who is behind the information, what is the evidence, and what do other sources say. When it comes to who is behind the information, search the individual or organization that put out the story, video, or image. With evidence, reverse search pictures and videos through Google Images. And when checking other sources, when receiving news coverage on social media, to be even more cautious, because a lot of social media websites have pulled back the usual protections that were in place to flag mis and disinformation.
Now more than ever, social media is probably the worst place to find and consume news. All of the tech platforms have essentially pulled back many protections that have usually filtered out or flagged mis and disinformation. X, formerly known as Twitter, is probably the biggest example of this. And that's where you've seen a lot of this mis and disinformation spread.
Along with your local and national U.S.-based coverage, find fact checkers and other news organizations within the region the war is happening.
Jalen, thank you. The newest Supreme Court justice should not be impeached. That's according to a recommendation from a retired conservative justice.
He's part of a secret panel looking into the prospect of impeachment, and political reporter Will Keneally has more live from the state capitol. Will?
Well, a secret panel is right. We only know about this recommendation because of an open records lawsuit and documents that were just released today. Now, a legal expert that we spoke to agrees with some of the findings that impeachment would be an extreme step.
Impeachment is an extreme remedy, and it is meant to be used when judges abuse their authority in office, when they commit crimes. I mean, those are the grounds to impeach an elected official.
And the findings of the retired conservative Justice David Prosser agrees that impeachment is too extreme a step to take. He and 2 other retired justices were tasked by the state's assembly speaker to see if impeaching the justice over refusing to recuse herself from a redistricting lawsuit is a valid path forward. Now, in a letter sent back to the assembly speaker made public today, Prosser says that the new liberal justice has not committed a crime nor corrupt conduct in office that warrants impeachment. He added that the Republican-controlled Senate is not guaranteed to act impartially during an impeachment trial, and that impeachment with that partisan backdrop could backfire.
Impeachment was meant to remove people who have committed serious crimes, who are guilty of corruption in office, and it's not for an ethical dispute.
Now, UW law professor John Gross there says that we've seen other instances where a justice may have a certain opinion about a case, but rule against their own policy preference because the law forces them to do so. Reporting from the Capitol, Will Keneally, News 3 Now.
Will, thank you. Members of a Milwaukee nonprofit are urging the Wisconsin legislature to address what they call a deteriorating situation in Wisconsin's prisons. Eugene Nelson is the vice president of the board of directors for Prison Action Milwaukee and went through what they want from Governor Evers and the legislature.
Limited periods of modified movement to no longer than 2 weeks. Provide all DOC residents with at least 3 showers per week. Allow DOC residents at least 1 hour out of their cells daily for recreation activities.
The group also circulated a petition to sign demanding the Department of Corrections adopt changes requiring them to improve the availability and delivery of reentry programming at all of its prisons.
New data released today shows Wisconsin students continue to make progress after the height of the COVID pandemic.
But there's still work to do when it comes down to getting scores back up to where they were before the pandemic. Kyle Pozorski joins us live with a breakdown of some of the data. Kyle?
The test scores, the data released today was based on 4 different standardized tests given to Wisconsin students from grade 3 through 11th. Since 2020, proficiency increased across all subjects and tests except for the ACT exam on math. This all follows a dip in scores seen in 2020, which state education leaders say was due to the learning disruption caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. And speaking in today's press briefing, DPI Communications Director Abigail Sweats reflecting on the improvements they've seen over the past 3 years.
When we look through that window of our assessment results this year, we can see that we continue to be in recovery mode and that we are further along in that journey.
Madison students' test scores followed the positive year-to-year trend. However, they lagged behind the statewide mark on the Ford and ACT exams. In Rock County, Beloit School District scores remain far behind the statewide mark. The district's math scores in particular showed no signs of improvement. The state has seen an increase in test participation this past year. State Superintendent Jill Underly said in a statement, quote, "I want to say that I am proud of our students' work and grateful to our DPI and school and district staff doing such a good job of increasing the participation rates in our assessments." Reporting in Madison, Kyle Pozorski, News 3 Now.
All right, Kyle, thank you. Next at 5, Jacob has a complete look at our first warn forecast.
Plus, the race to find a House Speaker is heating up. How what's going on in Israel is playing a role in that debate.
And on Wall Street, the Dow up more than 134 points in Tuesday trading. NASDAQ jumps almost 79. S&P adds 22.5. We'll be right back.
You're the people who make junk disappear?
We brought a whole truckload of magic.
1-800-JUNK, I love you.
We make junk disappear. All you have to do is point.
Every spring, the love of my life came here to paint. Cress helped us make sure she's never forgotten.
We are Cress. We truly believe your memories matter.
Get 11% off everything at Menards. Sylvania's two-wave LED bulbs provide the closest lighting to natural sunlight and make colors more vivid. Receive $10 instant savings with a purchase of $40 or more on Sylvania two-wave LED bulbs. Latitude Luxury Vinyl Plank from Shaw is the perfect choice to bring the style you want and performance you need. It's durable, waterproof, and easy to install. Just $2.99 a square foot after 11% rebate.
Save big money at Menards.
A great night's sleep starts on a new Tempur-Pedic from Steinhoffels. It's time to take your sleep to the next level with the Tempur-Pedic Ergo Smart Base powered by Sleep Tracker AI that automatically responds to snoring by raising your head, giving you a better, more restful night's sleep. And during Steinhoffels' anniversary sale, Ergo Smart Bases start at only $37 per month when you use Steinhoffels' 72-month financing. Shop in-store or online at steinhoffels.com.
From Lincoln Center Theater that brought you The King and I and South Pacific comes a sumptuous new revival of the most perfect musical of all time, My Fair Lady. The New York Times calls it thrilling, glorious, and better than it ever was. Bartlett Shear's glowing production is enthralling. Don't miss the smashing, jubilant Lincoln Center Theater production of My Fair Lady.
At Overture Center, November 21st through 26th. Get your tickets today at overture.org.
You're the people who make junk disappear?
We brought a whole truckload of magic.
1-800-JUNK, I love you.
We make junk disappear. All you have to do is point.
Tonight on News 3 Now, new plans for an ice rink are coming to DeForest. I'll show you the early renderings of the design.
And how are Wisconsin students performing in school since COVID? We have the latest reading and math scores. That's tonight at 6.
A local couple charged for damage to a rental car.
We knew we didn't do anything, so I called to call for action.
And our team helped them avoid paying a big bill.
I'm just happy that she could make all of our problems go away.
If you have a consumer issue, call for action. Only from News 3 Now.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
The Red Cross needs your help. Officials say the U.S. blood supply has reached critically low levels. Donations have dropped nearly 25% just since August. Before the pandemic, about a quarter of blood donations came from school blood drives. The Red Cross is now encouraging high schools and colleges to bring back blood drives to help combat the shortage. On this World Mental Health Day, we're taking a look at how parents can help foster mental health and well-being in their children. 1 in 6 American kids ages 6 to 17 experience a mental health disorder every year. That's according to the National Alliance on Mental Illness. And the organization says half of all lifetime mental illnesses begin by age 14. Experts say parents need to normalize how their child feels, model good mental health habits, and encourage kids to join in extracurricular activities to promote mental wellness.
Interim Speaker of the House Patrick McHenry is offering assurances to Israel that the U.S. is standing ready to help in their war with Hamas. But first, they need to replace Kevin McCarthy, who was voted out last week as Speaker. Laura Aguirre has the latest.
In a House divided without a speaker, there is bipartisan agreement on one point.
The world is watching. They're seeing a dysfunctional democracy.
We're demonstrating to the world that democracy is dysfunctional.
The stakes of that dysfunction now even higher amid an escalating war in Israel.
We need to be acting right now on Israel. Instead, we're trying to figure out a new speaker, or maybe perhaps still discuss, Speaker McCarthy.
We stand strongly with Israel. The House needs to get back to work.
Yes. House Majority Leader Steve Scalise is one of 2 top contenders for the speaker slot, along with House Judiciary Chair Jim Jordan, recently endorsed by former President Donald Trump, but not as confident yet that he has the votes to secure the gavel.
I've said all along we need 217, 218, whatever that number is, but we need to settle that in the conference before we go to the floor.
Whoever the conference picks, I'm going to support.
Ousted Speaker Kevin McCarthy showing support for his party's next move. While not shrugging off the option, it could be him again.
I'll allow the conference to make whatever decision. Whether I'm speaker or not, I'm a member of this body. I can lead in any position it is.
Without a speaker, most agree the House is legislatively paralyzed, but confidence is high among some that could change soon.
I totally expect us to have a speaker by Wednesday. We will come out of conference united in that.
I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
Well, let's get a look now at your first warn forecast. Meteorologist Jacob Montesano. Jacob?
Thanks, Eric. Here are the 3 things you need to know for the rest of the week. We're going to continue to see that frost during the morning hours, but after tomorrow morning, the frost is not going to be as big of a concern during the overnight hours later in the week. But high temperatures are going to remain consistent. We will continue to see highs in the 50s, and then we do have that potential for some heavy rain Thursday through Saturday, with the heaviest likely occurring on Friday. So that frost advisory is in effect for south central and southwestern Wisconsin. Places to the north and east of Madison we'll see a bit more cloud cover, which will prevent a lot of frost from forming. But the reason that we are under that frost advisory is because we're going to once again see those temperatures dropping into the 30s. Areas to the west of Madison may even see low temperatures near freezing. So it's going to be another very cold night. But then for tomorrow, high temperatures may actually reach the lower 60s for a lot of our area. And considering we've consistently been in the 50s, as the temperatures warm up again, they're going to feel pretty nice. And it's also going to be calm in terms of the winds. So looking at future track, we're not expecting to see any rain for the next 24 hours or so. We'll see clear skies, especially in the southwestern portion of the state. A few light showers are possible near the Illinois border, but not expect to see widespread rain. Wednesday night, we could see a chance of some showers, especially to the south of Madison. And then as we get into Thursday, we'll see more rain move into our area. Although the rain is going to be pretty scattered on Thursday, we're not expecting to see anything heavy. The heaviest rain Thursday looks to be to the north of Madison across the central portion of the state, and that looks to continue for Thursday night into early Friday. Now, as we get into Friday, we're still going to see those light scattered showers early, but later in the day, we're going to see a little bit more consistent heavy rainfall move in. Now, that previous model only goes out about 72 hours, so looking at this model, which goes out a bit further, Friday, once the rain starts in the afternoon, it's likely going to continue throughout the night and early Saturday before the system finally moves off to the east later in the day on Saturday. Total precipitation through from Wednesday night through Saturday could be over 2 inches for a lot of our area. There could be even higher amounts isolated. Now, we're not expecting to see a ton of thunderstorms, but a few storms are definitely possible, and the risk of severe weather is very low simply because temperatures are going to be just too cool. But expect that rainfall, especially Thursday into Friday, as well as Friday night. The heaviest rain will be on Friday, but temperatures are going to stay in the 50s. Those overnight lows will warm up a bit, so we're not expecting to see as much frost, but they may drop back to the upper 30s, possibly by the middle of next week. Now for your first warn traffic, not a ton going on right now. There is a slowdown in both directions on the 151, typical for this time of the day. Also eastbound on the Beltline just before the 12, there is a bit of a slowdown as well, but the interstate is looking good in both directions, and looking at specific times, just a little bit of a slowdown on the eastbound Beltline, but westbound is good, and Sun Prairie to downtown is also good. So that's your first warn traffic. Back to you guys at the desk.
Jacob, thank you. Some bad news for trick-or-treaters. Research shows inflation could again be affecting their candy haul. 40% of adults say inflation will impact their plans to buy candy. Half that number said they plan to spend the same amount as last year, but will be buying less. Producers say a tight sugar supply will also drive up the cost of candy and cut into production.
The Powerball jackpot has soared to an estimated $1.73 billion. That'll buy you some candy after no big winner last night. This marks the second largest prize in the lottery's history. The drawing drew more than 3.7 million winning tickets at lower prize levels. The next drawing is Wednesday night.
So to come, how what's happening in the Middle East could hamper the recent relief we've seen at the gas pump. That story next at 5.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
It'll be a night of laughter and fun. It's the Bob and Tom Show Comedy Tour with comedians Pat Godwin, Willie Griswold, and Jeff Oskey. Performing live Saturday, November 4th at Ho Chunk Gaming, Wisconsin Dells.
You've probably heard by now, but Wanakee Remodeling has been transforming homes for the better part of half a century by installing materials that stand the test of time from a team of trusted home pros. Our design team delivers a turnkey experience for your interior or exterior remodeling project, leaving you with a home you love. At Wanakee Remodeling, we'll never stop improving. Right now, get a special window offer. Buy one window, get one 40% off plus special financing. Visit WanakeeRemodeling.com for more.
At Lawton Cates, your life counts is more than just a slogan. Because around here, we're all about comebacks. Whether it's helping you recover after a car accident or return to the job following an injury, it's us fighting the odds and the insurance company to make sure you get the compensation you and your family deserve. No one loves a great comeback story more than Lawton Cates, which motivates us to fight for our clients every day. Your life counts. Lawton Cates. Call us today.
Welcome back to Sam's Hot Takes. What's hot now? Spectrum One Stream. It's internet, unlimited mobile, advanced Wi-Fi, and this Xumo Streambox free with Spectrum TV. It makes searching for shows and movies across live TV and streaming apps easy. It's streaming simplified.
Get internet for $49.99 a month, plus advanced Wi-Fi and your first line of unlimited mobile free for 12 months. Plus add Spectrum TV and get a free Xumo Streambox for 12 months. Call 833-788-4999. Visit Spectrum.com or stop by a Spectrum store today.
Are record energy costs putting a squeeze on your fixed or limited incomes? With inflation rising at record levels and incomes not keeping pace, you might be one of tens of thousands of Wisconsin residents who are struggling to survive in the blistering heat of summer or the bitter cold of winter. While you haven't asked for it, the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund and your local energy assistance providers are here to help. No Wisconsin resident should ever have to face the challenge of living without heat or power or face homelessness. For a hand up, apply today and call 1-800-506-5596. That's 800-506-5596. Or visit www.kwwf.org.
The moms have a brand new show.
Are you having a great time?
I'm Mom So Hard Ladies Night. Saturday, November 18th at Ho Chunk Gaming, Wisconsin Dells. Tickets are on sale now through Ticketmaster. Ho Chunk Gaming, Wisconsin Dells.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
The war between Israel and Hamas is raising crude oil prices.
And there are some concerns that soaring costs could soon reach gas pumps here in the U.S. Jen Sullivan explains.
An escalating conflict overseas, impacting crude oil prices, rattling global stocks. And raising concerns here at home that prices at U.S. gas pumps could soon soar.
If the theater of war gets expanded from Israel and the Gaza to other parts of the Middle East, you could see some real impact.
While Israel is not a major oil producer, prolonged tensions in the Middle East could trigger global investors in the long term, fearing the conflict could spread further and impact the fragile global economic recovery. And analysts say that's especially worrisome if oil producer Iran becomes actively involved in the conflict.
It really could alter the calculus for oil supplies and prices coming out of that region that exports about 20 million barrels a day to the rest of the world.
As of Monday afternoon, the average price for a gallon of regular gasoline in the United States was $3.70. According to AAA, that's 11 cents below a week ago. Analyst Tom Kloza says despite the war, the impact isn't going to trickle down to consumers right away. And more relief for drivers is actually on the way.
For the next 60 days, you're going to see gasoline prices become much more palatable. You're going to see disinflation for gasoline.
The conflict comes as gas prices in the United States are falling significantly as demand drops off and the industry uses cheaper winter blends to sell to consumers. For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
Right now, a gallon of gas costs an average of $3.30 in Wisconsin.
Here in Dane County, it's around $3.29 a gallon. We'll get a final check on your first warn forecast when we come back.
The house before you, over 30 years old, still has its original windows. Bone chiller.
There's no need to be afraid of old windows. Feldco's got you covered this fall with 40% off windows and 40% off roofing. Plus, no interest for 1 year. 40% off windows and roofing won't last long. Hurry. Call now.
Call 866 for Feldco.
Thank you so much for picking up.
When you really desperately need to talk to your insurance company, when you're having one of the worst days of your life.
What do people do at a time like this?
Sometimes you just want to talk to someone, a person. Not a robot or a recording or an app. Oh, sure, we have all that stuff.
By Friday.
But on a day like that,
just like that,
that phone line can end up feeling like a lifeline.
Thank you so much for listening.
At a time like that, you want a company like West Bend, because the worst brings out our best.
The next generation of streaming is here. Introducing Spectrum One Stream with Spectrum Internet delivering fast and reliable speeds, advanced Wi-Fi for enhanced security on your devices, Spectrum Mobile with unlimited talk, text, and data, and now TV with the all-new Zumo Stream Box. Get Spectrum One Stream with Internet for $49.99 a month, plus free advanced Wi-Fi, a free unlimited Spectrum mobile line, and the Zumo Stream Box, free when you add Spectrum TV. Call 833-976-4999. With Spectrum and Zumo, all your favorites are brought together in one place. Use the voice remote to search across live TV, on-demand movies and shows, and the most popular streaming apps to watch what you want faster and easier than ever. It's streaming simplified. Get Spectrum One Stream with Internet, advanced Wi-Fi, mobile, and now TV. Go to spectrum.com/stream, a Spectrum store, or call 833-976-4999.
you should make your next roof a metal roof from Sweeta Metal Roofing. We specialize in residential metal roofing, so you can be sure your new metal roof will look beautiful. And not only will it look beautiful when it's new,
your maintenance-free Sweeta Metal roof will look great for decades to come,
with no need for expensive upkeep or repairs.
Best of all, when you call Sweeta Metal Roofing, you'll speak directly with Mike and Mary Sweeta. So make your next roof
a metal roof
from Sweeta Metal Roofing.
Sweeta Metal Roofing, the last roof you'll ever need.
We've got a lot of news to cover tonight. Our reporting from Tel Aviv, where sirens blared today. A look tonight at Israel's prized Iron Dome defense system that's intercepting Hamas rocket attacks, how it protected Israelis during the surprise attack out of Gaza on Saturday. That and more news tonight from here in Israel on the CBS Evening News.
Let me go back to Jacob. One final check of the forecast.
Yeah, the temperatures are going to remain pretty consistently in the 50s, although we do have that chance of rain beginning Wednesday night and Thursday, but the heaviest rain will occur on Friday. The overnight lows will warm up to possibly around 50 Thursday night, so we're not going to be as concerned about frost towards the end of the week, but those high temperatures will be in the 50s through all of next week as well.
We're back for News 3 Now at 6 and 30 minutes. CBS Evening News live from Israel. Next.